Hey, oh, beautiful. Um, yeah, I was chatting a bit about this continued deal of chatting with you a bit every night. Um, and, with the thought that I can't lose every part of you all at once. Um, your family took you away from me for whatever reasons necessary to help you heal, I suppose. Um, and Um, you know, life took you away from me. Um, but hey, you know what? I got you beat. Turns out I was dead for 22 seconds before you ever died. So, haha, I win, I guess. But I don't know what it would have been like for you because it was painful. For me, yeah, it was painful. My heart actually started. It, essentially, the ventricles of my heart were hiccuping, if you can imagine about how much that was comfortable. But I was talking to Diane, and I was also talking to Mila today. Mila's my new someone else I chat to, and professional provider, and we were chatting about just this, and I finally really came to the conclusion that I can't lose every part of it. The talking to you was always, I think, the best part. Even before you started coming over to the house, I came over to your place, things of that sort. Um, you were, it was always a talking to you on the phone. I would get this phone call from you at 3 o'clock in the morning every morning, wanting to talk, and you proclaiming your love. You wish you could say that you when you were, and I'm going. It made, God, you made life confusing for me, but it was confusing in such a beautiful way. And something Mila said today, which was really wonderful, was that I was actually in love. And she says she's worked with a lot of clients before, but the way that I talked about you, she said that she's been doing this. She had at Webster University. I don't know where that is, but since grad school, she has not heard anybody talk about another person with as much love and care as I do of you. And so I'm going to keep this for a while because this is my connection to you. I I can't lose every part of you all at once. And the talking, like I said, was probably the best part. And like I said, you broke my heart a couple of times. You confused the fuck out of me several times. And eventually, no, it was nothing like Lost in Translation. It definitely became Silver Linings Playbook. Which, by the way, if you remember, the age difference betwixt Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence is exactly the age difference betwixt us. So that that uh, that kind of uh, coincidental thing, I don't believe that the universe is so lazy as to be coincidental. Uh, you know, the rabbits are the rabbits. I'm who I am. Matthew's coming back over. I'm ditched the walker. I am going to walk on my own, even though it is incredibly hard. I get incredibly out of breath. My potassium, got it tested. And I got the results back for last week, this week. I don't know. The last time I got tested, and um, I am actually up to 2.8 now, which is up from 2.6 from the prior. And so this hyperkalemic, whatever it is I have, this lack of potassium, it is slow to come back. And they're actually looking at doing some bone density testing because, well, they fear that my body is feasting upon the potassium that's inside my skeleton. Yay me. Um, how this happened, I don't know, but the fallout from it is, it made life very, very difficult for both of us. And I can't apologize for it. All I can do is learn, and everything becomes wisdom. And the wisdom here is that you, your body was gone, and you always told me you were going to die young, and you knew it. And um, that's why I lived every moment I could with you. It was always moments with you. And so this talking is okay. How do I catch you up on stuff? I'm starting a new song. I'm enjoying writing. I'm trying to get the dexterity back in my fingers because that's really the only thing I think that's keeping me from driving. And just I kind of just you know it's over here, and actually it starts off from the. I still have your curves memorized, honey, forever, and it's sweet. Um, so what else going on? Well, I went and saw Megan last night. Megan had an infection in her head. It was a weird one, and a cerebellum, and so she was actually kind of trapped inside her body. She couldn't talk in the least, and she got some words back last week, and then over the weekend she told me she was in the complete sentences. And had I not known any differently, and because she was very staccato, very deliberate, monotone, and sharp with the wording that she would tell me over the weekend when she was hoping I would visit. Megan's one of our board members with Dubsa. Um, well, she's looking great, and I was so concerned, and I actually started crying a little bit in the parking lot when I got out. I didn't think I was going to be able to take it if somebody else that I loved uh, wasn't doing great at all, because in the interim, since all of this last week, and I am having trouble talking about it, but a college friend of mine, um, she was actually trying out for the Olympic team. Um, she's a kayaker. She was down in Costa Rica, and she got caught in a waterfall. Her kayak did, and she drowned. And drowning, from what I understand from the people I saved who brought back, they say it's one of the most horrendous things ever. And to think that Linda died that way, doing something she loved, but getting stuck in that way and drowning. Um, I didn't know if I was going to be able to handle one more friend not doing well, and that Megan looked so good. I cried relief in the parking lot. And it's interesting it's parking lot. I was wondering where the nurses came from so quickly. It's also actually where my Jeep Cherokee got T-boned. Did I ever tell you this story? It's a good one, if I didn't. So I'm making a left-hand turn on a left-hand arrow, and this girl's coming up in her parents', 2000 something Land Cruiser, Total Land Cruiser. It's about twice the weight of my Jeep Cherokee, and she was 16, and she was driving her parents' car without their permission. She was on a probationary license or whatever they call it, so she couldn't be. And her thought was that on a red light, she had the right of way to turn right as long as she looked to the left first to make sure no one was coming through the green. It didn't make sense, but it T-boned me, and it bounced her car through a tree, and I skidded over. I'll run two. I thought I was gonna flip, and I actually was going into shock myself, but then I saw that her airbag had deployed, so I just hopped out of my Cherokee, left her where it was in the middle of the road so nobody would accidentally hit this girl. I went over, took a look at her. She was in shock, most definitely turning gray, not in a good way. And I put a blanket over to her. I didn't want to deflate the airbag in case something was broken, but I did put a blanket over her. But within about like, minutes, if not seconds, well, there were a couple of nurses there, and it turns out the nurses are from right there at Health South Rehabilitation Center, which was right on the corner of Ellison and Jefferson, and that is where Megan was getting some rehab. She'll be let out. Actually, I went over there and I stayed with her for about 4 hours last night. It was really, really great. Her mom gave me a call and said that I'm one of the sweetest men she's ever met. Um, to give my time like that because they were thinking Friday, and Megan is her mood bounced so much seeing a friend, her friend. I've missed her. That they're going to be letting her out tomorrow, and she says I'm one of the sweetest men she's ever met, and I think you know that too. And you're up there with my mom, and I think that now that everything is cooled off, and you're up there with Jesus and God and everyone else. Uh, that I'm gonna have such a surprise for you next week. Uh, um, um, you understand that the love we have uh, was horribly disrupted by um, God having a sixth sense of humor for whatever reason he does. Uh, so I mean, how else do you figure out how to smite if you don't have a sense of humor? Otherwise, then it's just kind of random and mysterious. Oh, I'm still arguing with God a lot uh, because I do miss you, and I don't. I've gotten away from the word unfair because this is what came out of discussion with Diane today, and she told me this, and I'll probably tear up a little bit right now. And this is where I want to close tonight. Is that I've seen photos of you from earlier in your life. I saw your obituary photo, and I didn't want to, but someone sent it to me anyway. Honey, when you were with me, you were happy, you smiled, there was joy. Everybody saw it, you saw it, I saw it. We saw it after everybody else. We made a great little couple. People responded well to us. I'm sorry that didn't continue. It just wasn't in the cards for us. But the thing about it is, with me, for a good 6, 7 months there, you got to know what it was to be truly happy and to be truly loved and to be understood and to be believed in and to be cared about. And you might think that this sounds grandiose, but I don't think you ever experienced that before. And nor did I, which is not grandiose. I never got to experience that. And so the thought is, you set the bar now. And there's not going to be any dating on my part for the longest time because it wouldn't be fair to anybody, including me and including you. Um, but you got to pass on knowing what real happiness was and knowing someone who believed in you without question. And that makes me feel good about me, that I got to be that person and you let me be that person. So, I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to say I love you. And I've got a real good surprise for you for next week. So take care, sweetheart. Rest well.